If you're somebody who gets frustrated when you make a mistake, you're not alone. A lot of people feel this way. But you can fix this. And it's so important that you do. So I'm really glad you chose this as your wellness plan. If you give up when you make a mistake, it's likely that you have a fixed mindset. You probably believe that if you don't get it right at first, that you should give up because you're not good at it. But this isn't true. What we need to do is shift your mindset, the way you think, to a growth mindset, where you start to realize that making mistakes and having challenges is actually what helps you to grow and become awesome. There's this thing in your brain called neuroplasticity that's happening all the time. These little pictures to the right and left are the actual blown up images of neurons. There are billions of them in your brain. They connect to each other once you learn to do something. Now, when you first learn to do something, if you look on the right, it's a very weak pathway. It's connected just a little bit because you only were able to do it once. But the more and more you practice that thing, the stronger the pathway gets, and eventually it's not hard anymore. So, for instance, when you were a little kid, learning to add 1 plus 1 to equal 2, that was hard for you at one point. It was for everybody. It was a weak pathway that took time and effort to get. Now, you know it without even thinking. Your pathway is so strong that the neurons just connect to give you the answer. This can happen with anything that you put hard work into. You just have to train your brain just the way you would a puppy or any sort of pet. You want to be positive with yourself and remind yourself that making mistakes is okay. Similar to when we teach a puppy something like how to put your paw up for a high five. If they don't get it the first time, you don't get upset with them. You just keep on encouraging them to try again. The power of yet, the thing I would like for you to try if you're struggling when you make mistakes, is to have this word ready in your mind, the word yet. Next time you make a mistake, you say to yourself, oh, that's all right. I didn't get it yet, but I will next time or the time after that. Or in Thomas Edison's case, 10,000 times after that. So reminding yourself, using your words to remind yourself that you can do something, just maybe not yet, and coming up with a plan for practice and not giving up on yourself. Michael Jordan, Thomas Edison, and Steve Jobs are just 3 examples of people that have found ways to have a growth mindset, to remind themselves that they make mistakes, and it's good to make mistakes because it helps them to learn and grow. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. If he gave up at that point, he never would have become an NBA All-Star. So he had to tell himself, well, I'm not able to make my team yet, but I'll keep practicing. Thomas Edison, it took him 10,000 times before he was able to make a light bulb with filaments that would remain lit when you turned the switch. And Steve Jobs was actually cut from the company of Apple until he was able to work his way back in. Even though he created the company, he was fired from his own company. Could you imagine? And he had the ability to make sure that he kept his thoughts positive, learned from his mistakes, and now we all know that he's very successful. So your job this week, or for as long as you are practicing your wellness plan, hopefully forever, is to use the power of yet. If you didn't get it at first, keep on practicing. Make those neuro pathways strong until you get and accomplish the thing that you want. Good luck using the power of yet.